The Seattle Mariners are now officially below 500 in this episode of the podcast. We're going to talk about that Arizona Diamondbacks series, a sweep at the hands of the Diamondbacks. I would say what went right and what went wrong, but nothing went right and everything went wrong. So we're going to have to talk about that. But then we're going to talk about some things to look forward to. You know what I mean? So we got to have something positive. There's not a lot positive with this team right now. So we're going to talk about what to look forward to with this team, some positive notes. Joe's finally going to give you his Operation Overreaction that he didn't give you in the last episode because he hates you. And then we're going to talk about the Cleveland Guardians series starting up on Friday. Mariners are finally coming back home. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 199 of the Hit It Here podcast, part of the Bleav network, available on all your favorite podcasting platforms. And this is the Claire and Christine episode of the podcast. Both Claire and Christine bought some of our Mariners Pride merch. We are going to be doing the charity stream for the Lambert House on the 21st of this month, Saturday, from 1 to 4. So make sure you're there to show some support for those in the community. And I am here with Joe. And Joe, this is not fun.
I was going to say, like, when you started this and you were giggling, like, ain't nothing funny right now, bud. Nothing's funny about what happened other than like the Geno Grand Slam. I think is like a bookend, a punctuation, if you want, exclamation mark point on this series as a whole of what that trade means for the franchise and how it kind of comes back and the bill comes due. Right, guys? The bill comes due. The series sucked.
Say that.
Hey, you say that. The series sucked. The Dom Canzone revenge game wasted because you can't move a runner up 90 feet in extra innings. Like, you make a great comeback in the ninth in that first game. You just waste it, and it's just sad. It's like this team. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities right now. It seems like yes, JP. I think he's having a great year. Julio. Still hitting the ball decently well off to his best start, probably through the first 70-ish games. It's probably close to this point because he probably heated up at some point during another season. Obviously, Cal Raleigh. What else? There's nothing else. There's seemingly nothing else. Emerson Hancock goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts in the first game. I mean, hey, we had a great time during this game. We were on Rusted Way, hanging out with some bros, doing some dude things, drinking some drinks, having some bergs, while the Mariners were losing. And everything was fine because it was the first game, and they'd have 2 more games to try and battle back. But they did try to send us home happy with a 9th inning rally started by
none other than Donovan Solano, who obviously
he's so
2
hot
outs,
right now.
So hot right now. 2 outs, 2-2 count in the 9th inning. Solano drives in a run. That kind of kicked off the scoring for the Mariners in this inning. Cole Young then ended up driving in Donovan Solano, and that capped off Dominic Canzone coming in for his first plate appearance back with the team, and he crushes a home run to right field. It felt storybook. It felt like, oh my God, like, is this the moment that they turned this sinking ship around? And then, as Joe mentioned, they basically did nothing for the rest of this game. Obviously, a walk-off grand slam to Josh Naylor didn't help in this one off of Carlos Vargas. The tale of that trade in this series is not lost on me. All right, it's not. This was a rough one, man. I mean, in the end of the 3 games that happened, that's actually the game I feel the least bad about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You were facing Merrill Kelly, great pitcher. You came back and scored 4 to tie the game in the 9th. The team actually showed some fight for once. But then after that, they just kind of laid down and died. And that kind of continued into game 2, where the Mariners dropped this one 10-3. Logan Evans got the start in this game. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. His first start back with the major league club. He looked a little shaky. He was able to make it through 5, but he got in the end, I wasn't too upset with Logan's start, right? It was fine. It wasn't a quality start, but it was fine. When the pitching staff for the Diamondbacks is so poor and the Mariners weren't able to capitalize on it, that is the real problem in this series.
Well, you look at the 12 hits, and I didn't get a chance to watch this game a ton, but I think that there was a lot of online discourse about how unlucky the team was
Hmm.
getting for the first like through the top of the sixth, where then Rowdy hit his 2-run home run, where it's no, was that
Back to
late?
back solo shots from Arozarena and Rowdy.
Oh, it was the solo. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Again, didn't watch the game. I was at work, but like they had a bunch of hits prior to that too, and just couldn't put anything across. And they were down what 4-0 at that point. Get 2 solo shots. They're scratching back 4-2, and then is it Trent Thornton? Just that entire like, just absolutely craps the bed. Like, how is it that bad? I don't get how one Dan didn't pull him.
Mm-hmm.
You just let that dude eat 5 earned through like what 40 pitches. I don't understand how it's not like I don't know like the order in which things happened. If he got 1 out and then let in 2 runs and then got another out and then let in another 2 runs. Like I don't know how the sequence happened, but regardless, get him out of there. Figure it out. Do something else other than just letting him go out to pasture. Granted, it's probably time for Trent Thornton to maybe be done in a Mariners uniform potentially. And I don't want that to be like the Viking send off for him was this final appearance, but like damn. Go get him out of the game so the game doesn't completely derail and unravel from that point.
And that's exactly what it did. Yeah. Thornton's been really bad for this Mariners team. And you're right. It was a lot of unlucky, Cal hit what should have been a home run. Lourdes Gurriel robbed it in left field. Cal then had a ball that would probably have been a double down into the corner that Josh Naylor robbed as well. The Mariners would have scored a couple of more runs on that, but in the end, it wouldn't have mattered because, like you said, Trent Thornton came in and gave up 5. Though, granted, maybe he wouldn't have been in the game in that spot, but we can't play the what if game. We have to just go with what happened. And yeah, I mean, this was a failure on Dan's part, like you mentioned. Jackson Kowar also came in and had his worst couple of innings as a Mariner. I mean, 2 innings pitched, he did strike out 3, or gave up 1 hit and 1 earned run. So it wasn't bad, but just since he's come back, it's been the worst that he's had. That brings us to Game 3 on Wednesday. A 5-2 loss by this Mariners team. The Diamondbacks scored all 5 runs in the 6th inning off of Brian Wu, who continued. He has gone 6 innings again. Wow. Woo.
Hang the banner.
Yeah. Hang the banner.
Brian Wu pitched 6 innings again. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Before we get to that that inning from Brian Wu, we have to talk about the 2 whole runs the Mariners scored on this one. The first one driven in by Jorge Polanco with a little bleeder to right field. Absolutely crushed it, probably at like 60 miles an hour off the bat. Hell yeah. And then the return of Donnie Barrels with a home run off of Eduardo Riguez. Wow. They said it couldn't be done.
Bro, I think pigs are flying in here right now.
Oh, you're not flying. In this in the 6th inning, Brian Wu came out, and the first couple of guys got on, whatever. He got an out. And then it was, who was hitting before Gino? It was Josh Naylor.
Who walked, and it was a slider on the outside corner that did not get a call.
Strike.
It was yeah, like the 50-50 like coin flip kind of pitch. Could have been a strike.
Right.
Was called a ball.
Changes the course of the rest of this inning. Gino comes up, first pitch thrown to him, should have been a strike, called a ball. Next pitch thrown to Gino, one of the worst like sliders I've ever seen in my life, right down the middle. And we know that Eugenio Suarez does not miss those. And it was perfect. You know what? I am so glad that it was Gino. I love Gino. I'm happy that it was Gino because it was the biggest middle finger to this front office and this ownership group that said, hey, you guys traded me. This is what you get. And that's what happens. When you look at that Gino trade, it was purely a salary dump. And look at where the Mariners are right now. Ben Williamson's been fine, right? He's been fine, but he has not been a Eugenio Suarez. This is on the Mariners front office, and I'm very, very happy of the way that it happened because honestly, suck it, Jerry Dipoto. Suck it, Justin Hollander. That's what you get. I have been a Mariners front office defender for years now. I can't do it. I can't do it right now. They have absolutely to bed. Plain and simple.
Matt Lauer can suck it.
Matt Lauer can suck it. Name that movie reference, chat. Pavin Smith comes in and hits a home run right after Gino did, and that was really the tail of the tape there. The Mariners did try to keep it close in this one. Brian Wu again went 6 innings. They then brought in Matt Brash, who pitched a scoreless inning. Gabe Spire came in, had a scoreless 1/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits before Carlos Vargas came in and pitched the final outs of that inning.
Dan knows to pull him.
Yeah, Dan knew to pull Gabe Spire.
Okay.
When the game was already out of reach, because the Mariners offense, for whatever reason, couldn't score off of one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. It was incredible. Truly incredible work.
So, Colton, you said at the beginning of this, there's stuff to look forward to. Enlighten me, please. I'd love to hear what you have to say right now. Because, truth be told, I might not be much help in this segment. I don't know if I have much to offer. I will give you my one thing that I think there's probably two. That they're going to come in the same package of 2 tall white men returning to the roster of Logan Gilbert and Luke Raley. Those are my 2 favorite white boys. You know what I mean? Like, they're coming back eventually, soon. Gilbert made his last rehab start on Tuesday the 10th, I believe.
Very good.
Oh, it went well. Fantastic. I didn't know how it went. So he should be slotted back into the rotation. Maybe on Father's Day is the earliest that would be if he's pitching on 5 days, or they could do a different turn to the rotation, and he'll pitch in Boston against Boston. Would be my best guess. And then
I think it'll be against Boston.
That makes sense, right? And then Raley, I don't think he started his rehab assignment, but it's like the reinforcements are coming. Awesome.
Too little, too late.
But yeah, it might be a little a saying that you like. And I don't want to put a dark cloud over your happy segment. Yay. This is the most I've ever felt it's getting late early for this team. Yeah. I do not. They're just not playing inspiring baseball. And there's such a big gap in what I would find to be redeemable from this team to previous years, it feels like. For whatever reason, the offense is flatlined and the pitching has been largely unsuccessful for the most part. In previous years, even last year, you blow a 10-game lead in the division. Yeah, it sucks. The pitching was still awesome. The pitching was what kept you in games. Right now, neither side of the ball is giving you much chance to win. So what can be done as far as on either side, the pitching or the offense, to look forward to make it better? Getting those 2 guys back in Raley and Gilbert is probably helpful, but I'd love to hear more from you.
Yeah, just a little more on Logan Gilbert's final outing or his last outing. We don't know for sure if it's his final rehab outing, but
I would hope
he went 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. No earned runs, nothing like that. His 4-seamer topped out at 97.5 miles an hour. He retired 14 of his last 15 batters, and it was his longest outing since April 13th versus the Rangers. That's great. That's a great sign. That's a great sign. It's a fantastic sign. Harry Ford hit a grand slam today down in AAA. So good news. He's still raking. That's pretty cool. Donovan Solano over his past however many games is hitting 315. I don't remember the exact number, but he's been hitting pretty well since May 11th.
I'll pull it up.
I think it is.
I'll see what Donnie Barrels is up to.
Which, not that is really that inspiring, because it's not like he's had a ton of plate appearances.
Yeah,
and he's coming up on. Somebody tweeted he's coming up on 100 plate appearances and still is tied for the worst WRC plus in Mariners history. So
nice. So last 7 games, he's had 17 at bats. He's hitting 294, 368, 471 in his last. I think that's his last 7 games appeared in. Right, I think that's how the numbers track. But if I look at game logs, those last 7 games are June 11th, June 9th, June 8th, June 7th, June 4th, May 29th, and May 27th. So it's dating back 2 weeks. So he's playing every other day, it seems like. And I mean, that's expected with how the roster's constructed right now. Is it a welcome sign that he's playing better? Sure. Again, getting late early. Is it too
Yeah,
little too late?
the Mariners actually put together quite a few hits in this series, but
Mm-hmm.
they were not able to capitalize on them, which I found very interesting. Obviously, 8 hits in the last game. They had what, 13
12.
or something, like 12 in the second game. How many did they have in the first game? They
Not.
had 12 in the first game as well.
Oh, did they really? Wow.
So 12, 12, and 8, right? The Mariners had 32 hits over 3 games. That's pretty solid. Like, did I do that math right?
You did, but
12,
then you only score 9 runs.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
And a part of it, and something they've been talking about quite a bit, is the Mariners have been relying on home runs a lot. Now, Cal didn't have his greatest series, although he had some bad luck in this series. So, we've been relying on Cal for the most part, but I don't know, man. I mean, I've seen some positive signs out of this offense. They're just not able to capitalize. They had traffic the entire series, which is good. It's a bad pitching staff, and you're not necessarily going to run into the bad pitching staff with Cleveland. But nonetheless, I still think that is a good-ish sign. Julio is hitting like 350 over his past like 15 games or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I think that Ben Williamson's been all right. Cole Young had a couple of hits in this series as well, as he's getting his feet kind of under him a little bit more. There are some encouraging signs with this team with the additions of Luke Raley and Logan Gilbert kind of on the cusp. We've been talking a lot about this team as a contender. A lot about this team as like a buyer, right? We mentioned that Josh Naylor could be a fit, that Eugenio Suarez could be a fit. This team is much closer to being a seller right now than they are to being a buyer. And I don't know who they would have to sell, but just with the way things are going, the Mariners are in a very rough. So what's their record since the start of the Blue Jays series?
11-20. So since May 9th, they're 11-20. So since this 9 consecutive series wins over 31 games, they've won 11. They've only won 3 series. One sweep against the Padres, a series against the White Sox, and then that Twins series at home. For a segment that you tried to paint as positive, we have failed, I think, pretty.
Well,
I mean, again, it's not the fault. I don't think it's our fault necessarily.
Right.
It's the hand that we've been dealt. We just got to play the team in front of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's bring that back.
Yeah.
I think that
Like
I
it ever
look at the
left.
series. Yeah, I look at this series versus the Diamondbacks. This might be the series I watched the least of.
Mhm.
Right? Like you said, we had a really good day the other day down at Ruston Way. I mean, we were watching the game, but not really paying attention. You know what I mean?
I
And
was listening.
yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
Just to not pay attention, be like, oh yeah, they're still losing, whatever. And then we were packing everything up, and then Dom hit that home run. And we're like, oh my god!
I
Like
think
game 2, I was falling asleep for half of it. So.
if I'm being honest with you, I think the only bits of this series that I have watched were Dom's at bat, and then everything after it. That's it. I didn't watch anything of the second or third game. Like I watched 3 innings of 29 innings of baseball. Good series to miss, I guess. Good series to miss.
They all have been recently. I think that it just goes to show that this team really doesn't deserve our time right now. Not just us, everyone's time. They don't deserve it. All right? They need to go ahead and have a players only meeting. They do. Like when they get back home, shut the door and pull your heads out of your asses. Have a players only meeting, because this sink is shipping. This ship is sinking fast, not this sink is shipping fast.
Hey, I like
We're
that.
not buying it from like Lowe's or something like that.
The sink is shipping. I like that.
Yeah, like have a players only meeting. Get a little heated. Get your shit together. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Colton, I think it's my time to deliver an overreaction of some sort. I need to deliver on that front. And I don't know where to take this, if that makes sense. But I don't I don't know if the Mariners front office is willing to eat crow on Mitch Garver. My take is that Mitch Garver is on this team for the entire 2025 season. I think that they're going to let Harry Ford rot in Tacoma essentially and not call him up just to kind of like prove a point. I felt good about the Mitch Haniger decision. I was like, wow, that's kind of maybe turning a new leaf. Calling up Cole Young, sure, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks too late. With how Garver has looked and how Harry Ford has looked, I would have called up Harry Ford in the same exact time they called up Cole Young. If I was a team that was serious about winning and not caring about certain agendas. Yes, you owe Mitch Garver like what, 7 or 8 million the rest of the way if you just release him right now. You're probably not going to be able to trade him. And if you do, you're probably going to pay down whatever it is. I think I'm back on the side of the fence where they will be too stubborn to get out of their own damn way and help the team, which would be to inject some new life into the clubhouse by bringing up another young gun in Harry Ford, making it an exciting thing again, and cut your losses with a guy who has not been very productive in Mitch Garver. I don't think they'll do it. I want them to. I wanted my Operation Overreaction to be they'll call up Harry Ford tomorrow on the off day. I wanted it to be a positive spin on it. But I took the other side of the coin.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't think it's an overreaction at all. We have seen time and time again this team, and this year more so than any other year, this team say, "Yep, we're right on this. We're doing this correctly." You know, that time and time again we've seen them miss on free agents, on trades, etc. Colton Wong, Adam Frazier, Jorge Polanco last year, Mitch Garver. They went out and re-signed Jorge Polanco, and that was the biggest double down to say, "No, he'll be better this year. He'll be better." And you know what? For the first month of the season, they looked like geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like geniuses. And now, this Seattle Mariners front office can never admit when they're wrong. That's why we talked about they wouldn't go out and trade for Eugenio Suarez, because they won't admit that they were wrong to trade it.
Mm-hmm.
They won't. Plain and simple. It was the wrong move. They will not admit that it was the wrong move to continue to carry Mitch Garver. That's what, like you said with Mitch Haniger, it felt like a big step for this organization to do that, because we've seen them before carry guys that have zero value to you simply because they're making a little bit of money. And frankly, I think that this front office, I don't see a way where if things continue the way it's going, I do not see a way where they keep their jobs at the end of this year.
Oh yeah, they are probably even themselves thinking 1 foot out the door. And they've showed that they can work within constraints, and I'm sure that Dipoto, Hollander, if they're both gone, they could find other work elsewhere within the league. And maybe with an owner.
Hollander.
Yeah. And, maybe with an owner or ownership group that will give them a bit more money to spend. Yes, it's the ownership's, like, it starts at the top. You can't fire the ownership, unfortunately. That'd be really nice if we could. That would be really sick. But Dipoto and Hollander are on like borrowed time at this point, it seems like.
Well, and I think that not to play devil's advocate for John Stanton, because I hate the guy, but why would he give them more money? They don't spend it well. When they're given money, they go out there and get absolute duds of players.
Yeah, I think the argument there, I don't know if that's like a fallacy in my head, but like if they had more money, they would not have needed to get duds, and they could have hit on someone more. But again, that's like huge what if, like expanding beyond, I think, what is reasonable as far as giving them benefit of the doubt in that way, or even John Stanton, which is better watch your boot, buddy. All right. Better watch your boot, pal. It's getting a little too close to the sun there.
Yeah, it's gonna melt. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I have zero faith in this organization let's say the Mariners did decide to be buyers at the trade deadline. I have zero faith in them going out there and getting players that would actually
Like,
mean anything to this team. Like, what
yeah.
have they done?
I mean,
The best players on this team were developed by this team.
I think Castillo trade was a big one. Turner went well for them last year. Randy wasn't like the worst thing. Like, could have been better.
Not yet. We'll see how Aiden Smith and
well, yeah. I mean,
who else was in that trade?
Brody Hopkins.
Brody Hopkins.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna look at every trade like through that lens, then it's going to you yourself are just putting your mind through a ring of hell, essentially, if we're going to do that. And that's the part, I don't think good baseball teams think like that.
And they shouldn't.
Like, they should be like, yep, we need to go get a good player. We have to understand that we might not win every single one of these in the long term, but if we get better in the interim, it's better for us right now. Sure, Aiden Smith may come out and be a 5-tool outfielder, and Brody Hopkins could be one of the nastiest relievers, or however he develops as far as a pitcher's concerned. But if Randy Arozarena makes us better right now, then that's what we need to do. And they need to make more trades like that, or make more moves like that in general. It's just eventually you run out of resources, but the Mariners have quite a bit. So if they do end up being buyers at the deadline, of course, you don't want them to grossly overpay, and like the Jerry got fleeced mindset of people will come out. And again, that's naturally going to happen. The Jonathan Class A for Jimmy Garcia trade is looking real good, because Jimmy was awful for the Mariners in Class A. He's doing okay for Toronto. We should call him up. We should call him Class A.
Let's call him Class A. Who was it that the Mariners traded Chris Taylor for? Was it Josh Fields? Was that his name?
Josh Fields was the guy that was traded for Yordan Alvarez.
Right. But it was Zach Lee. It was Zach Lee. Okay. The Mariners traded Chris Taylor for Zach Lee, right? The Mariners obviously lost that trade. At the time, maybe you could see Zach Lee as being a guy that could help the rotation, right? They lost that trade. You look at like the Adam Lynn trade from a million years ago. Obviously, whatever, Adam Lynn didn't end up helping the Mariners win anything. And now Freddie Peralta is one of the best pitchers in the system for the Brewers. Like, but that's just the risk you have to take, especially with like really young guys. Like, for example, if the Mariners were to trade Yorger Bautista, right? This don't give me that look. If the Mariners were to trade Yorger Bautista for, I don't have a name, but if they did, are you prospect hugging?
I'm prospect hugging, baby.
Like, I wouldn't like, yeah, that could definitely come back to bite you in 5 years' time. But like, I don't know. I don't like if that makes the Mariners better right now. I don't care. I truly don't care.
There's a time and a place to make trades like that.
Right. And it gets a little fuzzier with like some of the guys that are closer to the big leagues, like Harry Ford. I think that gets a little bit fuzzier because he can literally help this team right now. So like it's easier to value that trade out. But like you don't know what you have. Yorger Bautista could be the best player ever, or he could be literally nothing. And odds are he's probably going to be nothing, but I don't know. Well, it's a very weird spot the Mariners find themselves in. Are they going to be buyers? Are they going to be sellers? Are they just going to be stand pat at the deadline like they have for the past however many years? They got Randy Arozarena last year, Luis Castillo in 22, but only Eduardo Bizardo in 2023, Joe. That brings us, the Mariners are coming back home, and they will be facing the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep.
Man, Friday the 13th just feels like a really good omen for game one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's fireworks night, which the last fireworks night went so swimmingly when watching our dear friend Andres Munoz give up a 3-run lead. It's also Kangaroo Court night.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So they're going to have the Kangaroo Court for the Manas. They're going to have the Kangaroo Court for Ryan Roland Smith. And it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, just a perfect storm for Luis Castillo to pitch against Gavin Williams. Listen, I don't know what to say about what to expect for this team. The Guardians have been pretty mid on both sides of the ball. They're 16th in all of baseball with a 3.89 ERA. I think similar to the Mariners, their pitching staff is underperforming. I mean, Emmanuel Clase had an awful start to his season. I think he's kind of regulated a bit, but bro was downright terrible. The Mariners are 20th in all of baseball with a 4.06 team ERA. Looking at WRC Plus, still the Mariners are 6th with a 110 if we looked at it over the last 30 days. It's probably not that. But the Guardians, they're sitting at 20th in all of baseball with a 94. The Mariners and the Guardians have the same run differential of -14. Guardians are, I think, 3 games over 500. Mariners find themselves 1 game under 500. So the expected win-loss is the exact same at 32 and 35. This is about as big of a coin flip of a series as I could imagine for the way that this team has been playing. Guardians are 4-6 their last 10. Mariners are 2-8 their last 10. I would say that I like Castillo over Gavin Williams. Personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But let's see. Since that fateful, oh my God. Since May 9th, the famous Mariners date, the Guardians have a worse WRC plus than the Mariners do, which feels improbable. It feels impossible even. Mariners are 19th since May 9th with a 96 WRC plus. The Guardians with an 86. Listen. Go out there and win a damn series. Do it for the dads. We found out earlier this season that the Mariners hated their moms, according to Colton. An assertion made on this podcast.
The Mariners hate their moms.
Will they hate their dads too? There's only one way to find out, and it's to play the team in front of you. Am I right, Colton?
May I remind you guys, in 2024, the Mariners on Father's Day, the Manas on Father's Day ended up sweeping the Texas Rangers to put themselves 10 games ahead of the Houston Astros in the division. All right. Here we are. We're going into Father's Day, and this Mariners team sucks ass. All right. They've been terrible. They are below 500. They are going to sweep this series versus the Cleveland Guardians, and it's going to set them a different direction than last year. They're going to go up. All right. The Mariners, all they're going to do is be good against the good teams. They're bad against the bad teams. They're going to be good against the good teams moving forward through the rest of the first half, even though, like you said, the Guardians are mid. But nonetheless, I feel it. I feel it in my loins, Joe. In my loins. Game two. Tanner Bybee on the mound versus George Kirby is what's projected. Interested to see how Kirby kind of comes out and works off of his last start. Obviously, 14 strikeouts in his last start, went 7, looked really good. Tanner Bybee, though, I would say is probably the best pitcher in that rotation, though I don't think he's had the best season so far.
Kind of up and down.
But he is, he's the best in there.
Yeah, that's an unfavorable pitching matchup to find yourself in. It's good that Kirby shoved his last time out, because if we were still getting bad Kirby starts going into this one, man, vibes would be down astronomically. I think that Kirby can pitch with Bybee. I think they can go toe-to-toe. But yeah, Bybee is a very good arm talent. I have him in fantasy, so, hope he does bad. But not like so bad, you know what I mean? No, I'd rather him get shelled. I'd rather him get shelled and the Mariners drop 40 on his head. I don't care.
I don't care about fantasy. Yeah.
I need the team to wake up. Wake up. I need them to figure it out, bro. I can't do it. They can't keep getting away with this. Of being bad. Something's got to give. And if it's against this Guardians team who is somehow staying afloat when they're in a division with the Tigers and the Twins, who have surged since they were 13 and 20 to start the year, been surging. They can stay afloat and the Mariners can beat them. Maybe that inspires a little bit of confidence. I think if you win the first 2 games, that's about as ideal. No shit, Joe. That's about as an ideal situation you get if you win the first 2 games. Herker Durker,
That's
like,
true.
duh. What else are they
Thanks,
gonna
man.
do? Not win them? Are they gonna tie? I was mainly saying, like, if you drop the saying that is like if you drop the 3rd game, the series is fine. Like, you will continue on with a series W under your belt, and hopefully building onto that momentum, because the final game is Emerson Hancock versus Luis Ortiz. Hancock, again, he's good. He's pitched well. There's some bumps in the road. Does pitch to contact quite a bit. I'll be curious to see how that start goes for him, because I feel like the Guardian, like, it's the AL Central. They're gonna, like, they could drop 17 hits in one of the games, and I would not be surprised. You know what I mean? Hancock could go 5 innings, 13 hits, give up 1 run. Somehow, wouldn't be surprised, because that's just like how something could go like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's
Luis
fair.
Ortiz, they got him in the Pirates trade,
Spencer
where they
Horowitz
the
trade,
sports
yeah.
the Horowitz trade, and he's been okay for them. Not super good, but not like super bad. 2007, Jonah
Great
Hill,
movie.
Michael Cera, Christopher Mintz-Plasse,
Great
Seth
movie.
Rogen, Bill Hader. A 4.26 ERA over 13 starts. He's 3-7. So old heads, they're gonna love that. Oh, the Mariners are going up against a guy who's got a 3-7 record, dude. They're gonna win. Old heads are gonna go crazy for that.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I mean, just start winning series. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do. The hard part is the soft spot in your schedule for the rest of the first half is officially over. And during that soft spot, you won 1 game. If George Kirby did not have a career pitching performance versus the Angels, the Mariners would be 0-10 in their last 10 games. Let that sink in. The soft spot in the schedule's over. It is officially time for the Mariners to nut up or shut up. And unfortunately, it seems like they've been trying to shut up lately. You play the Cubs after that, the Red Sox, etc. Rough go of it the rest of the way for this first half. But you know what? We'll still be here a couple times a week doing some streams on the Mariner Mojo channel, because we are masochists. All right. We love the pain. Feels great. Spain without the S. We appreciate you guys being here on episode 199 of the Hit It Here podcast. Next one's the big 200. So pretty excited about that, I guess. And yeah, go Mariners. I don't know. I don't know what to say at the end of this anymore, because it just feels weird. So bye.